He hadn't meant to cry, not here, not in public, not where strangers could witness the collapse of a man the world believed was unbreakable. Yet the tears fell anyway, silent at first, then shaking through his clenched jaw, as Adrian Hale, the hard-edged CEO of Hale Dynamics, sat hunched on a worn park bench, with the weight of 1,000 failures pressing into his chest. He didn't notice the little boy standing in front of him, small shadows stretching across the ground, until the soft voice broke through his grief. And when he finally looked up, his eyes red and blurred, the child's gentle words pierced him deeper than any corporate betrayal ever had. Before the story continues, if you believe in kindness, in healing, and in second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps these meaningful stories alive. Adrian had not always been the man people feared in boardrooms. Once, he had been a son with a mother who made sacrifices he never understood until life tore her away from him with cruel suddenness. Her passing had left a hollow space in his heart, one he buried under ambition, under success, under the relentless chase for more. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared him for the news he had received. Hours earlier, the company he built from the ground up was slipping through his fingers, betrayed by partners he had trusted, manipulated by competitors he underestimated. For the first time in years, he felt helpless, like the young boy he had once been, abandoned and confused. He came to this park because it was where his mother used to bring him when life felt too heavy for her, a place where she'd tell him that even the hardest storms pass if you give the sky enough time to clear. Today, the sky was mercilessly blue, mocking his devastation, refusing to cloud over in sympathy. That was when the little boy approached, holding a melting ice cream cone and wearing a mustard-colored sweater 2 sizes too big. His eyes had the innocence only children carried, the kind that saw pain without judgment, only concern. And when he said those unexpected words, "You can borrow my mom," Adrian felt something inside him loosen, as if a knot around his heart finally gave way. The boy's mother approached, moments later, apologizing softly, but when she noticed Adrian's tear-streaked face, her expression shifted from embarrassment to warmth. She didn't ask what was wrong. She didn't pry. Instead, she sat beside him and simply said that sometimes life pushes us to our knees so we can look in a new direction, words strangely reminiscent of his own mother. He didn't know why he started talking, but once the first truth slipped out, "I think I've lost everything," the rest followed like a flood. He told her about the betrayal, the looming collapse, the suffocating loneliness of being admired professionally but having no one personally. And she listened, really listened, the way only someone who understands pain could. The boy sat on Adrian's other side, swinging his legs, occasionally leaning his head against the CEO's arm, as if to wordlessly remind him he wasn't alone. It was absurd, Adrian thought, how easily children offered comfort adults forgot how to give. That small gesture, that simple trust, cracked him open in ways nothing else could. As he spoke, his breathing steadied, and with every word he felt a little of his anxiety drain into the earth beneath the bench. The woman, her name was Liana, told him that falling apart doesn't mean failure, but rather a chance to rebuild differently, stronger, and more authentically. She shared that she too had lost someone once, that life had pushed her into darkness before she found her way out. Her voice carried a calm strength, the kind that comes from surviving battles no one sees. Adrian realized that this stranger, someone with no reason to care, was giving him something he hadn't felt in years, human connection without expectations. As the afternoon sun dipped lower, painting warm gold across the park, something shifted inside Adrian. He wasn't magically healed, and the problems waiting for him were still real, still threatening, still overwhelming. But for the first time in months, maybe years, he felt a faint spark of hope, a reminder that even when life unravels, there are still moments of grace hidden in the world, waiting quietly for us to notice. Before leaving, the little boy tugged on Adrian's sleeve and handed him the sticky remnants of his half-eaten ice cream cone, a child's version of comfort. Adrian laughed, the sound rusty but genuine, and ruffled the boy's hair. Liana gave him a reassuring smile and told him he didn't have to face everything alone, even if he thought he did. And as they walked away, the warmth of their presence lingered like sunlight long after the sun had set. That night, Adrian returned to his office not with fear, but with resolve. He confronted the crisis with clearer eyes, repaired what could be saved, and let go of what couldn't. Weeks later, when the dust finally settled and the company stabilized, he found himself returning to the park, not out of grief this time, but gratitude. And sometimes the little boy would spot him and run over, chattering excitedly about school or drawings or nothing in particular. And on some days Liana would join, her gentle presence a reminder that even strangers can become unexpected turning points in someone's life. Adrian began rebuilding not just his company, but himself, slowly, intentionally, and with the kind of heart he thought he'd lost years ago. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps bring more meaningful stories to the world. Special request: before you go, comment below what part of the story moved you the most.